But there came to a certain point when I realized that I was failing them by not holding them accountable because like people are joining me because they have certain goals in mind, they have bills to pay. And if I'm not leading them in a type of way that keeps them accountable to get that done, then I'm failing them, right? And I'm basically prolonging the process of them failing anyway. So it needs to be a lot tighter of like, okay, this is crystal clear of what needs to be done if you want to hit these goals, like not my goals, your personal goals.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reside Platform Podcast. I'm your host today, the Suneet Agarwal, and I'm talking to somebody who's going to be a great conversation. It's my boy. I'm stoked. Kevin Feely is our guest. He's the founder and team lead of the Feely Group out of Ottawa, one of the top performing EXP teams in Canada. He's built this terrific business by blending systems, accountability, and culture, and he's leading the charge on just all things real estate teams out there. If you're a team leader or an agent who wants to scale smarter, this one's going to be a home run for you. Let's jump right in. So, dude, Kevin, what's going on today, bro?
Not too much, man. Happy to be here. Weather's getting a little bit warmer outside. I hope maybe it'll stop snowing soon.
Yes. How much snow do you have outside right now?
A lot. It's this winter's been pretty bad. Yeah,
All right. But you're still able to make it happen, right? Even with the snow.
for sure. Like right now, luckily to see the market's actually getting hot, even if the temperature isn't.
Awesome. So let's go back to the beginning. Like, how long have you had this team going for?
So this team in itself, like ended 2019, right before
Okay.
COVID is when it started. Yeah,
And then how long have you been an agent for?
since 2014. Yeah,
What were you doing before you were an agent?
restaurants, nightclubs.
Yes,
Yeah.
I already knew that answer, but yes, Kevin was a restaurant and nightclub guy that took the jump into real estate. How that jump happened, bro?
So I mean, I was still doing that when I first got my license, for sure. And so what happened with me is obviously nightclub scene, like you have to be social, right?
Yeah.
So I got a big network in my city from that, but I was still kind of actively partying and just selling homes to people that knew me. And then basically was done with that life. I decided I was going to get sober and quit drinking, and that's when I jumped in real estate full time, for sure.
So just being in the nightclub industry, and I used to own a bar and I have plenty of friends that have been in shoes, like been in your same shoes. You do got to party a lot. Like you're getting paid to party, huh?
That was my full time job. Like it
Yeah.
was every single night, for sure.
Do you ever listen to that Chris Williamson podcast?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see some similarities between what Chris went through and what kind of your journey?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a little bit different though, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely gonna be similarities for sure. I haven't super familiar with the story. Like I listened to him for a little bit. I haven't listened in a little bit, so I think
Yeah, I mean, it's hey guys, if you're listening to this, listen to this podcast instead of Chris's. But the guy has a similar story to Kevin's. I figured Kevin might like it. So, what made you decide, hey, in 2019, I'm doing solid with real estate, but I want to start a team? What was that decision process like for you?
so I didn't know I want to start a team right away. What I did was I ended up going to a conference and I ended up seeing a bunch of these agents that were absolutely crushing it. And that's when the light bulb went off. And I was like, because I was talking to them, I was like, these people aren't anything special. How are they
Dude,
doing so
yes.
well? And so I signed up to that coaching program. And I said, if they can do it off this system, then I can definitely do it. And ended up doing 49 deals in 6 months and decided it was time to do team because I couldn't live my life anymore. The truth is, actually, I did 0 deals in 6 months, trying to make like 10 deals happen, trying to make 100 grand, but just grinding out every single day where I was going to quit. I was
Wow.
done. And then 6 months, 49 deals. Like I did 5 times the volume that I was looking to do in the year in that 6 month period.
Wow. Dude, I don't know if we've ever had this conversation, but the same thing happened to me. Is I had been a realtor for like 2 years, and I went to a real estate conference, and a top agent in my same market was a speaker at this conference in LA, and she was crushing it, and I was hating kind of, right? I was all like, "What?" But then she said something, "If I could do it, you could do it." What you said too, right? Is if they're doing it, they're not anything special, why can't I? And it really opened my eyes. Is that how you felt?
Well, and that's actually why I started the team because I'm like, it isn't anything special. It's not brains. It's not whatever. It's too many people trying to reinvent the wheel and kind of skip the work. But you find someone who's done it right and you implement and duplicate and copy, and it's completely repeatable.
Yeah. Were there challenges? Although I'm going to assume the answer is yes. Were there challenges doing that right on the tail end, right during COVID?
For sure. But luckily, I mean, so for us in our market, from when I started in 2014, even until like 2018, like before I actually jumped in full time, it was a buyer's market. And so it worked out that I wasn't doing tons of business because that's what I was working with. I was working with buyers, right? And then so that was pretty good. And then the market started to heat up. Really, inventory got short in 2019. And so I started to see that wave. And then when COVID happened, we were like, oh no, we're already kind of the prices have already come up so much in the past year and a half. This can't last. Like maybe the market's gonna crash. And obviously the exact opposite happened. Right.
Yeah, it just became a firestorm.
And yeah, it got crazy. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Were you guys locked down?
Oh yeah. Multiple
Do you
times.
remember how long?
So funniest thing is I was on a cruise when the world actually locked down.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I was in Asia in January. And when we were flying back home from Bali, you couldn't even find masks because it had already broke out in Asia and people were freaking out. And so we got back probably early February. And but we land like as soon as we landed in Europe to connect flights, everything was normal again. We got back home, everything was normal. And my wife's birthday is March 9th. So we got on a cruise March 9th and out of Puerto Rico. And then the 13th, I think the world shut down. And then we got to Puerto Rico and Puerto Rico says you're not getting off the boat. And so we got an extra 2 days as we went to Orlando, and we got off in Orlando, and it was just like, welcome to Florida." But when we got home, everything was locked down. We couldn't like, we had to quarantine, we had to do all that stuff, and then we were back out a couple months later, but then again, December that year, we locked down again. Yeah, yeah, like the second wave, so and then I happened to be heading to Costa Rica at the time. And so I got out, and so, like, I happened to be in Costa Rica, like, wearing the mask and all that type of stuff, but we were locked down at home again, and, like, like, New Year's 21 or whatever, yeah.
You guys, Kevin and his wife do some epic traveling. They have great experiences. So if you want to live vicariously through Kevin's travels, because I do, make sure you follow Kevin on social. We'll drop those links in the show notes for you guys to check out. What's been your favorite place that you've been to, dude?
So, I mean, I'm actually, like I'm trying to mix up my timelines now because I was also in Maldives during COVID, and I think that was no, I think that was January of 22. So it was still going on where we were still having to PCR test to travel. Yeah, that's what happened. But because the world was shut down, we ended up getting, like, the craziest deal
In Maldives, which is typically expensive.
at the Ritz, which had just opened. So I paid the same price for the 7 nights as, like, 1 night cost.
Wow. So Maldives, what is your top?
Yeah, that was amazing. But, Southeast Asia, I used to go every year, every winter, like, after New Year's, bar's done, I leave for January. No one's at the bar for January. So I was gone every January when it was cold and whatever. So Bali, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam have social place.
We gotta talk more about that sometime because I want to go to those places. But back to business. So, when you were a buyer's agent, like, how did you make the transition to like getting more listings?
So it all worked out really well where when market blew up, all the people that I had helped buy homes ended up their values doubled, so they all became buyers and sellers. And then I started getting signs in the ground where it was at one point, there was one street I had 5 sold homes, like, it was, like, literally the whole street was just, like, sold with my face. So, yeah.
So, it just kind of happened. That's awesome, dude. That's the way, right? People want to say, "Oh, I'm just a listing agent now," bro. No, you're not. Like, you'll go take that buyer out too. Like, why segment your money? Do you feel the same way when you hear agents say that?
So, one of the first agents on my team who absolute crushed it, you met him, actually. He went and started his own team after, and he's wears his heart on his sleeve, and He will call me and he'll be like, "I'm never working with sellers again," and then, "I'll never work with buyers again," and he'll switch it every time the market switches, right? It's just funny, but that's what it is. You have tough sales on each side, and you can have easy ones on each side, and you never know where it's gonna go.
Yeah, you never know. So, like, don't stereotype any side of the transaction into being a certain way, right? Like, you'll get that buyer, maybe online lead. You sell it, you show them one house and they write on it and it's done. And then you'll get that luxury listing on the street you always wanted. And the sellers will be so difficult and way unrealistic on price. And then you're just working your butt off for free.
And expensive, right? It's not free, and that's the thing. It's there's good and bad scenarios. It's just like everything. You need more at bats, and you're gonna run into more good situations. You're gonna run into more bad situations.
Yes, totally. So, you talk about systems and accountability and culture. Like, what do systems look like for you in the Feely group?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like constant change. Let's be honest with you, we're always trying to improve, right? Just when you feel like you have something set up, you find something else that you can improve. But it's again, it's having a pathway, right? I find that a lot of people in this business, they get into it to be entrepreneurs, be their own boss, which is great, but they have no system, they have no plan, and they have no predictability, right? So it's really about tracking everything that we can so that we can have a good idea of what to expect. So we're not guessing this.
What are some systems like CRMs or programs that you're using right now, like website, all that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, CRM, Vault Boss, website, Sierra. We actually have Ylopo site too. We run them both because we see advantages to having both in different systems. So that's again, yeah, we're trying to put every system we can together. In Canada, we don't have all of the cool gadgets that you guys do, but those are three that work great. And then always looking at what else we can improve, right?
Well, you guys use Go High Level, right?
Of course, yeah, for sure.
What do you guys, what's something cool that you guys use Go High Level for?
So, I mean, a lot of stuff. This is where even me, I'm not the best person to ask on that.
I know, but that's why I want your perspective as someone who probably, I mean, do you go in and go high level every day?
I do.
Because I'm making you, right? But yeah.
Okay, but aside from that, no, like I don't I scratch the surface of that thing. I've probably opened up maybe 10% of what the capabilities are and what we use it as a team. But that's the point of having a team is having the people in place that know how to do that stuff.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about that? Because let's talk about your person you have in place because she's pretty badass as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, there's another example of you never know where things are going to go. She came to me as an agent originally, and because she had gotten her license, but she was living in a different province, but she had the Ontario license. So she came to me. Basically, she had already I'm at EXP. She already joined EXP like with kind of without knowing her sponsor, and other teams had rejected her. So that they only wanted people that were in their down.
Which is a mistake.
Big mistake. And so she was with me as an agent, and then we just saw how good she was with systems and everything like that, and then she just progressed into basically running my company.
Okay. Wow. And also, she's super good at tech. And did she just learn it on her own, or did she come with that skill set, or what?
Yeah, like, she's out there buying, like, crazy expensive AI courses on her own dime and stuff. Like, that's what you people around you that are looking to grow, right? Like, that's
Yeah, dude, that's what you need. And you just kind of fell into that, like you weren't even hiring for that role.
not she was an agent, and then things just progressed. Things just progressed, and we saw a better use for her.
Yeah, I mean, she's a badass, dude. Like you did every time I'm on the call with her on our coaching calls, I'm like, wow. I'm like, dude, where do I find one? I got some, but yes, just I'm super stoked for you guys to have that role. What about like task management dashboards? You guys use Notion, right?
We do. Yeah, that is pretty much how we track everything in our business, from where our lock boxes are to where the commissions are to you name it. Like she's got a spreadsheet for it.
Yeah, so your ops manager built that out in Notion. It wasn't you deciding, hey, we need to get Notion.
Well, I didn't know what Notion was until we already had it fully implemented in the business.
And now do you love Notion or you just use is it good for what you need it to be?
I swoop in and I look at the numbers that I want to look at.
And it's super easy to find and it's always updated. And that's good that she has the AI expertise because you can sync everything into Notion now. and you get those dashboards, right? So for everyone listening and watching, this is something that I talk about a lot, and Kevin and his team are a perfect example. Like, I call Notion and Monday.com, I call them actually the wrong thing, but I consider it like a project management tool initially. They don't want to be labeled that these days in 2026. They don't want to be called a project management tool, but that's why I believe a lot of them, at least Monday, was created. Dude, tell me if you agree with me. Is having a system like that a game changer for business?
Yeah, for sure. 'Cause, I mean, obviously, we're trying to grow, and so when we're able to add employees in and then plug them into the system where it's all tracked, like, it just becomes simple. Everything becomes scalable and trackable.
Yeah. I mean, I use Notion as my personal CRM task management. And then I use Monday.com for Reside, for my team, for KFR, for everything. Right. So I think if you're listening to this call looking for a nugget, take it from Kevin if you're not going to listen to me. Right. Is some kind of tool like that really will elevate your organization, both like the organization in your business, but also the organization in your brain. Right? Do you think so, Kev?
Yeah, for sure, and I think it all kind of equates to when I have the conversation with agents that are successful, but they're trying to do it all on their own, right? It's they're looking at, like, giving hires. It's always you want someone who's going to bring you to a different level. Like, I would have never known about this stuff if I didn't have the right people around me to kind of implement, right? And that's the biggest thing is I don't know how I could yeah, where I would be without having the people to find these systems to implement it, right?
I mean, you guys, if you want to grow, you need to have the people that are going to grow with you, right? And like, I'm sure that your person, your director of ops, is like, obviously, she's taking courses on her own. She's looking to grow on her own, right? That's so cool, dude. I didn't know she was taking and paying for her own courses otherwise.
Yeah, and, like, she's got kind of she sees that this can be a lot bigger than what other people see it as, and the avenues obviously, you're the perfect example of, like, how many different businesses you've been able to open from success in real estate, right? And I sees the bigger picture of like, right now, we somehow have ended up being the go-to team to call if you're in high school or if you're looking for co-op or an internship. Right? Like, right now, we have 3 full-time co-op students and 2 interns from, like, other countries, from France.
Here, really?
Yeah, and it's not even like we do at first because it's funny thing, same thing happened. One of them this week was like, "Do you know how many companies we called before we got to you?" And you said yes. And it's like, I get it because most people don't have the capability to take these people on. But now we're at the point of we're even building out systems in place of how we leverage these people who are interested in real estate and the things that they can do to grow our business. And we see that as even something that we can share with agents once we perfect this of what agents can be doing, team leaders especially, of taking on these high school students and these university interns to help grow their business.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome. So, as we're talking about tech and all this, what do you think about the fine line between using tech efficiently and losing personal touch?
Yeah. So I mean, the AI calling and all that type of stuff, we've done every which way, have tried it, right? And currently we are back to us curating the messages. And so there's both sides of it for sure. I mean, I think the AI calling I just don't see as something that makes sense for us because of like the exposure when someone picks up. But the AI is definitely good. Like it works. But yeah, I mean, I think it's everyone's always looking for like that magic potion that's going to solve the problems. But really, like it's every tool is great, but if it supplements the actual work, then it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what you said about the AI calling is really important because people expect it to be perfect, right? And people expect it to be the silver bullet magic potion. But at the beginning of the call, when they say, "Hey, this is digital assistant," in my perspective, any above anybody with a high price point, I am going to assume has some level of education, right? And like, will that educated person in the kind of price point that we want to sell to, want to talk to a fucking AI? What did you find?
Well, it's the same thing, and it's now people are so looking out for AI. Like, I mean, look at an Instagram post and, like, anything cool, like, half the people are calling it AI even if it isn't, right? Everyone's just, like, looking out for AI, right? And so even when I get calls from say, someone who is just isn't skilled, they're not a professional at their job, I sometimes I'm like, "Is this AI?" Right? Like, my right away, my brain thinks this must be AI, and that's the huge difference that I always try to express to my team too, because like, I get cold calls from tons of different businesses every day, right? But there's a huge difference between a professional who does it and an amateur, and the amateur is the same as the AI. Like, they're slow, they're not building a rapport in any way, but when a professional calls me, even though I have no time for them, I'll stay on the phone because I respect the skill, right? Like, you can tell when someone is confident and knows what they're doing, and so, like, the AI is the same as, like, kind of a telemarketer from overseas, from we could list the countries that they're from, right?
Yeah. How does somebody become a professional on the phone and good at the phone?
A lot of mistakes.
A lot of mistakes, a lot of reps.
Yeah, a lot of reps, for sure, right? I mean, when I started, I used to call and, like, if I stumbled, I would hang up.
Same, dude. Just so embarrassed, don't know what to say. You're all, okay.
Click, you know what I mean? And now, like, now I'm just like, my heart doesn't skip a beat. I have no qualms with just talking to somebody and just keeping them on the phone, right? People are gonna be resistant, not expecting at first, but if you're offering value in some way and legitimately just trying to see who's on the other line, like, I think it goes a lot different. People can
You're looking to help somebody, right? So ask the questions. And I don't even know if there are the right questions. Just leave open-ended questions to have the conversation going. Right? I mean, do you think it's much more complicated than that, Kevin?
no, like, it's like, really, you can screw up so many times, but if you just stay on, like, that's all it takes, right? It's like, yeah, like, so many times I tell them no, it's like someone who's not a professional, like, they just give up so easy and you can feel it, right?
They just give up and then they wear it. And then they may never pick up the phone again. What advice do you have to people who may be listening to this with call reluctance, who may be hanging up when they make a mistake or just get paralyzed when they look at the phone? What advice do you have?
Yeah, like, you spend the exact same amount of time sitting there thinking about not making the call than if the worst case scenario where they just said no and hung up. The exact same amount of time has gone by. You know what I mean? And then yeah, like, it's crazy. Like, no time is wasted. You're wasting the time thinking about it. And all you need to do is it's worth going through it. Like, right now, I'm in the habit of I'm doing 1 call a week. I'm doing it on Zoom where anyone on my team can go through it. And if at first time, it felt awkward because I wanted every conversation to be a smash, but it's not always gonna be like that. But no, there's no hour that goes by that I don't have a really good conversation, right? And it's just like, if I just did that, like, what would any agent on my team or any agent in any city in real estate, right? If they did that for an hour a day, like, they're going to see success.
Oh, bro, that's really all it takes, right? If you could do 5 hours of calls a week, I mean, dude, that changes everything.
One conversation a day from that, like, one solid one.
Yeah. One solid convo. I love that. Let's talk about accountability in the team. How do you hold high standards around accountability without making it feel like micromanagement?
Yeah, so that is for sure that has been my biggest struggle personally, because I don't like to be the mean guy. I like to be everybody's friend. But there came to a certain point when I realized that I was failing them by not holding them accountable, because it like, people are joining me because they have certain goals in mind. They have bills to pay. And if I'm not leading them in a type of way that keeps them accountable to get that done, then I'm failing them, right? And I'm basically prolonging the process of them failing anyway. So it needs to be a lot tighter of, like, okay, this is crystal clear of what needs to be done if you want to hit these goals. Like, not my goals, your personal goals. We run through them. We run through our exact metrics. So we have exactly how many calls, conversations, to appointments set, met, signed client, deal, right? And so we know exactly what that number is to hit your income goal based on splits, average price point, commission, all that type of stuff, right? I just make it crystal clear. And so then I'm looking at, okay, what level of accountability do you want? And the funny thing is, when I started implementing this, The good people got better and the other people got out. And it just made everything so much simpler.
So, do you do any kind of like accountability exercises with the team?
So I ask everyone what is their kind of what are they looking for? And so the people who want it the most, I'm talking with them. I have a scheduled call once a week. Just little quick run through with them. Then we also have everyone's weekly goals in our team meeting. And the people who have chosen hot accountability, we go through them. Anyone who's chosen like less than that, then we don't review them. They just get to look at them on the board, right? And then depending on where you are as a newer member or whatever, we have extra calls for them, depending.
Yeah. So, what's that call look like with somebody who wants accountability?
So we know exactly what they're looking to do every week. So first thing is, did you do it? Right?
Yeah. So, let's say an example. I want to have 3 2-minute conversations this week. Right. Well, that's kind of light. Let's say five. I want to have 5 2 minute. I want to have 5 2-minute conversations this week. Is that something that you've heard from one of your agents?
100%. So we have every type of goal that people want, right? So we have certain people that are wanting to do YouTube videos, social media posts, follow-ups, or just like lead generation conversations, open houses, even personal goals, whatever that is, right? But most people are have it down to conversations or appointments set along with reach out attempts on different platforms, that kind of stuff.
So then you talk to them and you say, "Hey, did you do it?"
Mhm. And then it's, "Yes, I did," and they're happy to share the great success, or, "No, I didn't." And then we're looking at, "Okay, and what got in the way?" And then, "Are you looking to double down this week, or what are we gonna do?" Because we know that number is ultimately what takes you every week to hit your goal, and so where do we go from here? Do you need to adjust the goal, or where are we?
And then, so what typically happens? Do you think most people are doing what they say or are not?
Yeah, I mean, after the first couple ones, if they're not doing it, the calls don't typically last, right? And
Yeah,
then
they don't want to show up anymore.
exactly, right? And that's its own thing. But then everybody else, I mean, the right type of people that want that accountability is usually how it goes around, and they don't wanna be saying the same thing every week, and they see it in their business.
Yeah, those people thrive. What have you seen in these calls as the biggest thing that's getting in people's way of doing what they say they want to do?
It's always, like, trying to make it perfect, right? So, "Okay, I wanna call in the evenings because that is the best pickup rate." We know what happens by the time evening comes. Life, right? So, it's like, yes, I agree. You're going to have a certain percentage better pickup rate if you call in the evening, but it's 0 if you don't make the call. And that's the thing, it's like, you need to do it when you can do it, right? And that's what I love about Follow Boss too. I tell people, throw your phone in a different room, call right from the computer, close your email. Like, there shouldn't be anything else going on because life.
Dude, what a good suggestion. Go put your cell phone in the other room if you're using Follow Bus and just call through the computer. Everybody watching and listening, that's a writer downer. If you run a team, dude, that's good.
Well, I mean, like, we're on this call right now. I'm not checking my phone, right? It's the same thing. Pretend you're at a listing appointment. You're not checking your phone.
Yeah. In fact, your daily prospecting may be more important than a listing appointment, right? It's putting money in the bank. You're setting up your future listing appointments. That's so good. You said that mentorship is a big differentiation in your business, right? What does great mentorship look like to you?
Yeah. I mean, it depends too. I think there's a difference between mentorship and coaching, right? And I think mentorship works for people who are looking to do the same thing that you have done, and you can mentor them through that. But and that's how I used to lead. But then I realized that not everybody is me. Not everybody wants the same goals. And so I want to find out more of what they're looking to do and coach them through that. Right. And then obviously, if they're at a point when I cannot help them, I will reach out to someone who can. And I think that's ultimately the best way to do it is finding the leverage. That's why I'm a part of organizations like your own.
Yes. Good. Yes. I think that's so important. Yeah. The team leaders, our business owners in general, just think, well, everybody wants to be like me. No, bro. People want different things. And guess what? That's okay. Right. When you look at teams that scale versus those that struggle, what do you think is the big differentiator?
I think it's the actual entrepreneur spirit of the risk level. When Yeah, I think a lot of people, when things go bad, they retreat and they wanna cut everything and they wanna go back to their comfort level, and they're too having that push through, that new expenses, that new all that type of stuff. You have to be able to fight through the storm and have the bigger vision. Also, having the right support. If you don't have people to go to, then it is a failed plot, but, like, I look at it like this: if I wanted to open a restaurant, if I want to open a gym, if I want to open this, like, I'm not looking to make money, I'm looking to pay back all the loans I just took, right? And in real estate, we have the ability to make as much money or more than any of these things without any debt. And sometimes maybe you have to take in a little debt, but it's nothing compared to what you'd have to do opening any other business.
Yeah. Like opening up a restaurant is a couple mil, a good one.
Like, you wanna make your money back in 3 years. That's if everything goes well, right? In real estate, we're too afraid to we look at, "Oh, well, we were making more commission when we had less expenses, we had more in our pocket," but, like, you gotta reinvest your money into a business that grows, and if you don't do that, then, yeah, your business will fail, and I think that's the difference, is that people wanna keep their money in their pocket, and they see their money as their money and not investment money to the team.
Yeah. I mean, you look at people say that the failure rate for real estate agents is 80 something percent in 5 years. Fine. What they don't say is what's the failure rate for restaurants? What's the failure rate for nightclubs or clothing stores? It's way higher, right? So when you see these things, you got to look at the full perspective, I think.
For sure, that's exactly what it is. It's a business, and the thing is, it truly is a lot less risk than any other business I could open right now.
I mean, you could literally start with nothing but hustle, right? And if you do want to grow, growth takes sacrifice. Growth takes sacrifice of time and sacrifice of money, period.
So, like, the thing it's I was, like, thinking about it the other day too, is it's like people get into a lot of people get into real estate thinking it's gonna be easy and all that type of stuff, right? But yeah, but then, I mean, by the time you're, like, in Canada, I mean, I think California is a little bit like, you have a little bit of course and stuff like us. We have 5 courses, right? It's gonna cost you 5, 10 grand to get started, right? And then but it's like, once you've gone down that path, if you don't understand that, like, it requires work to see the success, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not articulating it well, but it's just it blows my mind sometimes of people know the failure rate and still think that it's, like, gonna be different for them, I'm not sure.
I know it's silly. So you've got a lot of recognition. Forbes, Top Agent Magazine, a bunch of stuff. What's been the most meaningful win for you as a leader in your career so far? That's a good question, by the way. Shout out to my producer for helping me with that one.
Yeah, you know what? It is definitely when I see someone go through the struggle and have the resistance to push through and see the success on the other side. That's the most rewarding thing, is that I remember very clearly what it was like and the uncertainty and just feeling like you're doing all this for no reason and then getting out the other side and seeing the success. So, like, that's been the most rewarding thing, and that's the people that I've gone on that journey with, like, are family to me for life pretty much.
Absolutely. And bro, like the uncertainty can still strike us at any time, right? Like I feel it. I felt it last night after I got back from my trip. I was all wow, like all this new stuff. Like, am I the right guy? Like, don't you still feel that way sometimes?
100%. I mean, I forget where I heard it, but it's like, if you don't think about throwing it all away and quitting every once in a while, then you're not in this business, right?
Then you don't care. Yes, exactly. Looking ahead, what's next for you and the Feely Group?
Yeah, I feel like we are at a very good transition point. I feel like we've spent the last couple of years really building out the systems of trial and error and getting the right people together. And I feel like right now we're going to see a big difference between where we're sitting today on transaction volume and where we're going to be sitting a year from now.
Awesome. And what advice do you have for agents and team leaders listening to this? Although you dropped a lot of good advice, so I didn't even know if I should ask this question. Oh, wait, my little daughter's coming in. Hey, I'm in a meeting right now. Let me finish this meeting, please. Okay. Real life. Hey, honey, I'm on a call. Go on. We're gonna leave that in the podcast episode because I know Kevin has a little one too. Who probably would come in and just disturb if you were at home, right? Yeah. What advice do you have?
Honestly, it is to connect with the right people and always be looking for more. Like, that's what I could see is when I first got into it and wanted to learn as much as possible, I would listen to any kind of recording of a training or a podcast just anywhere I went. Like, I'm not driving the car, walking the dog, at the gym, listening to music. Like, I'm always listening because even if you hear the same thing twice, there's something new that you can take from it. And so the same thing of like I'm saying an hour of calls, you get one good conversation of it. I will listen to an hour of any sort of podcast if I get one takeaway, everything.
Bro, you remind me of a lot of the same stuff I say. That's super good. That means the sky is the limit, right? The sky is the limit.
I mean, it's just always connecting with people. I see you doing it, so why can't I, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whatever I can do, you definitely can. And you got years on me when I first started. I was 38 when I got my real estate, or 36 when I got my real estate license, right? So yeah, your time is coming and I know it firsthand. If somebody wants to send you a referral or learn more about you or your business or follow you on social or join your team or whatever, see your travel pics or talk to you, what's a good way to connect with you, Kevin?
For sure. I mean, search my name, Kevin Feely. Instagram would be really Feely, but probably just searching Kevin Feely would be easier to find me. Feely Group would be the team, and Facebook, wherever else you can find me.
All right, guys. If you got a referral for Ottawa, I only send mine to Kevin. So make sure you do too. And if you want to learn more about Kevin and everything he's got going, go follow him on social, send him a DM. And he's a giving guy. I'm sure he'll share with you some great tips. All right, dude. Well, you crushed it. You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, it's been fun, man. Thanks a lot.
All right. Yeah, you killed it. All right, let's wrap it up. Well, guys, I hope, listen, I got a lot out of this episode, and I know Kevin. I've been coaching Kevin for a while. He's a great Reside team leader. So since I got something out of it, I know if you listened this far, then you did too. And since I know you did, make sure you share the information with a friend who will also get value out of this. Like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out the links in the episode description to learn more. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Reside Platform Podcast. Peace.